Hi, this is Kate Vanden with Leading with Intuition. I'm an intuitive coach and a nature connected guide. And this is a weekly insights video where we're looking ahead at the energetic landscape for the week coming up as we move from May into June. Enjoy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this video today where we are looking ahead at the week of May 30th. Can you believe it? We are at the end of May in 2022 already, and it just is, this year is flying by. It's for me, and I don't know how it feels for you. There's equal amounts of fast forward and super slow motion. Because the last few weeks of us being in Mercury retrograde, there have been times where the frustrations and the communications and the technology issues have just felt like walking through quicksand. But then at other times you turn around and I wake up in the morning and it's a week later and it feels like, I can't even remember what just happened that last week. So there's just a real, for me anyway, and from other people that I'm speaking to, there's this real, just almost loosening of our concept around time and what that means. And what's then even more important, which we're going to talk about today, is the importance of being present in here and now. Because what is time? The only thing that we actually have control over, influence over, experience of is this present moment, this here and now. And there was a lot of points this week where the great quote from A.A. Milne that kept popping up, which was, life is a journey to be experienced and not a problem to be solved. And that was specifically relevant coming off of the back of, 11 days of filming every day for the Stop Overthinking program. Stop Overthinking, letting your intuition lead. And what we talked about on each of those days was being present and the importance of not letting our intellect override our intuition. And that's what happens when we we wake up every day trying to fix the situation, which gives us the false sense that we even have control over what is happening around us instead of being a co-creative partner in this experience of life. We have a tendency to take on the responsibility of needing to be the ones, if it's not up to me, if it's to be, it's up to me, and to really take that responsibility of being the catalyst for all of the experiences and the changes that happen in your life. But actually, in reality, if we really want to experience life and go with the flow and be present and manifest in the abundance that we want in the world around us, it actually involves us being still and being present and allowing our intuition and our inspiration to lead the next steps and the choices and decisions that we make in our life. So that's what we're going to be looking a little bit ahead at today. The three big things that are coming in for energetic points this week are, as I mentioned, Mercury is retrograde currently right now, and thank all heavenly beings, it is going direct this Friday, June 3rd, because I don't know, again, for you, this was a doozy for me. There was even last night sitting there trying to work on my website and it was constantly crashing. All of my videos are on a video hosting site that has never been down before in my experience, and suddenly it was down. So there's things that are just out of our control, out of my control, and Mercury retrograde is perfect for holding a mirror up as to where we get into the habit and tendency of wanting to push and to control and to fix and to dominate a situation. Because when all things start to go south and it's going very wrong, you can get frustrated in that moment, or you can simply walk away and surrender to that. This is what's happening right now. This is what is. And I'm taking it as a sign that I need to step away from technology. I need to go and communicate in a different way. I need to go out and ground myself in nature and be present with myself. So Mercury, hurrah, going direct. So communication and technology, the bumps and the glitches hopefully will start smoothing out into the weekend. But of course, we always have the shadow period for a couple of weeks afterwards. So we're not clear sailing just yet. But today, as May 30th, when this is being recording, is the new moon in Gemini, which is a perfect opportunity for us to set intentions for this lunar cycle that's coming ahead, as well as, for the week ahead, for the rest of the year, because we're coming up again in June on the 21st to the summer solstice, which is the midpoint of our year. So there's a welcome in summer. So there's an opportunity right now to really focus and, again, being present on What are you creating in your life? What positive intentions and manifestations are you putting out there? Because where you put your attention and your focus is what you're manifesting. It's one of the things that came up a lot in client sessions this week, especially, is where is your attention? And are you focusing on, there was an analogy I talked about with client this week, which is perfect for this conversation too. And it was a Simon Sinek quote that I also heard this week, and talked about a downhill skier when they're skiing through the trees. Where is their focus? If their focus is on the trees, you can guarantee they're going to hit a tree. If they want to be successful and they want to be fast and they want to move smoothly and effortlessly through the landscape, they're focusing on the path of least resistance, which is the snow. And that's not always a straight line. There are obstacles and things to, again, like a river that needs to flow around, over, around both sides, sometimes under a rock that's in the way or a log that's across the stream. So it doesn't mean that sometimes the momentum might slow down a bit, but there's always forward movement. And if you're going with the flow and you're looking for the path of least resistance, that is often where our intuition is leading us. And again, it might not always be logically practical, or if you were to let your analytical mind step in there, it might not make sense. But if there's a nudge and a pull and a feeling that this is the way for you to start walking, that is what we're talking about, where you're living a life led by your intuition. You're allowing the space for inspiration to come in so that you can hear. Again, in order to hear, you have to be here. It's important to be present and grounded. And when we have the new moons, it's in a perfect opportunity for that fresh start, the new beginning. And that, again, what it feels like, because we have this also this week, the start of June, and we're transitioning from one month into another. Along with the transition point of the summer solstice on June 21st, this is a really pivotal, feels like a very big transformational month. And by being consciously aware of it, you have the opportunity to actually harness that energy and be present with it every single day and consciously manifest the life that you want. And Lena Stevens from the Power Path says this about the new moon: change is the key work for this new moon. This is a transformative time, uncomfortable, challenging, dramatic, intense, and strangely inspiring. It will take some discipline to lighten up, bring in some much needed fun, humor, and community time. Include some self-care and personal comfort in the plan. Love that. Again, I pulled some cards for our energy landscape for this week ahead. And again, that's a perfect message that butts up against the messages that are coming through in the cards. So without further ado, let's look ahead at those. And for me, with it being such a speedy time of change, it feels like that there is a necessity to stay at the eye of the storm. You can either do it and stay right in the center of the storm and let the chaos move around us as we observe it, or, as a lot of people like to talk about, become the eagle and rise above the storm. And another analogy is that eagles actually use the storms to take themselves higher. They will not fly because the perspective, taking it from a higher perspective, giving themselves some space away from the storm, they can see other opportunities outside of it. When we get so pinpointed and focused on only one outcome, we actually limit all of the other opportunities that we have for inspired, creative problem solving. So it's taking a step out of the situation and looking at it from a higher perspective allows us to almost use that situation to take us to a higher elevation. An eagle will use those winds to actually rise above the storm and move around it. It doesn't stop the storm, it doesn't move, it navigates around the storm. And that's what it really feels like this week, is there's the real potential and a reminder for all of us to be present and to be here and now and to live in the 24-hour time frame. Who am I today? What am I being asked to do today? How am I being asked to move today? Where is my attention and energy being guided to today? And allowing that to be what navigates through the snow, through the trees. The trees are the chaos. The snow is the clear, easy path of least resistance through it. Now, the first card that came up, again, one of the things to do for the new moon is actually to release the previous lunar cycle. And the card that we were being asked to focus on for this week ahead is surrendering to inner peace. And it says to cultivate inner peace on a daily basis. In quiet meditative moments, focus on the stillness within and enjoy this inner refuge. Others will feel your good vibes too, and your life will flow more easily. So as we enter into this new moon cycle, really think about releasing what disturbs your inner peace. Where are you knocked off balance? What situations, what people, what environments, what thoughts actually throw you out of a state of inner peace? Because we're being really asked this week to actively, proactively, and consistently stay in a state of inner peace, which suggests to me that there will be lots of opportunities for that to be tested, as always is the case. So taking this leap of faith, again, she's up in the air and, chest open, arms back, flying with the seagull of just pure trust and faith. And when you have trust and faith in the universe around you, your guides, your allies, yourself, you can trust your intuition. There is no defensiveness. It's very much a fluid, feminine energy, which all of the three cards are for today, is very much a feminine, surrendering, receptive energy. And if you jump on my email list, this gets emailed out. I'll send a photo of the cards along with the video to everybody on the email list, so you can take a look at the cards in closer detail for yourself. So the big question that we're being asked this week, asked to ask ourselves this week is, interestingly, how can I surrender even more in this moment? Which is, again, fascinating, right? Different deck, same message around just allowing yourself to be present and surrender. So when we have an opportunity, when we start to get into a state of frustration and where things aren't going our own way, we can fight harder. Again, like with Mercury Retrograde, when websites falling over, when things aren't saving, when your web hosting, your video hosting is crashing, I can sit and get angry with it and keep fighting with it, or I can just let go and surrender and walk away and go and do something else, take my attention and my energy elsewhere. And we're being gifted that opportunity this week and always, honestly, but it's there. How can I surrender even more in this moment? So I have that as a mantra for yourself this week. When you start to feel yourself getting frustrated or stepping into intellectual control mode, is how can I surrender even more right now? How can I surrender to my intuition? How can I be quiet and still? How can I surrender to inner peace? How can I allow the messages of inspiration to come in, which will help guide me rather than trying to figure out the solution to the situation? And some of the messages in the back of this card are, it's essential to have a clear, strong intention for what we desire, but it's equally important for us to detach from the outcome. It's time to surrender. Let the universe have some breathing room to work. Let go of the wheel and trust so deeply that your trust turns into gratitude for what you cannot see yet, but you know is coming. I surrender. I accept all that I cannot change. I release the outcome and I joyfully trust the process. That for me was the perfect card when we're talking about new moon intention setting. Again, setting, you do the work that you are being asked to do is get clear on what it is that you want. Be very focused and intentional with where your energy is going, and then let go and trust that you will be guided to the people, the situations, the conversations, the resources that you need to help manifest and bring that abundance into your life. But you can't do it alone. We're not here to do this alone. We're here for each other. We're here to be a co-creative, magnificent manifestation machine that requires that we actually trust in the resources and help around us. So we're not here to do everything alone, because we're only, as again and talked about in the Stop Overthinking program, we can only go as far as our own limitations, right? When we allow those barriers down, we're expanded beyond anything is possible, the infinite possibilities of anything, when we don't limit ourselves by what we think we know. Okay. And then I love this, what's coming in as an energy for the rest of this week is true love. Okay. And this is a beautiful, beautiful energy. So by surrendering into this moment, by surrendering to inner peace, we allow in this feeling and this emotion of love. And love is the highest frequency of emotion there is. We always want to be aiming for a state of love, unconditional love, self-love. And for me, this card very much is about this woman. She's looking into a mirror, okay, and she's giving herself a rose. Again, the energy around this is very feminine. It's very receptive. Her hair is down. She's in a flowy dress. It's that energy, the feminine energy. Again, whether you're a man or a woman, we all have male and female energy, masculine and feminine energy within us. And this week, that receptive, the feminine energy is very much that receptive, intuitive, inspirational energy that just allows the world to co-create and to be a part of the process, rather than the masculine, which is the doing, the going, the driving force. We're genuinely being asked to step back and stay in a state of love and trust and faith this week. And for me, this also starts with self. This is very much looking in the mirror and actually recognizing all the things that are amazing about you, having that state of gratitude, cultivating the self-love that radiates out into the world. And if that's difficult and challenging for you, one thing you can do is actually look in the mirror and see yourself through the eyes of people that love you, and start to look at yourself the way that others see you. Start to recognize the beautiful, shining heart and the light from within and the kindness, and give yourself some grace. That's the other message that's coming through on this one, is that self-love is self-care, and self-care is having some grace and some patience with yourself, and recognizing that you're doing the best you can with the resources that are around you right now, with everything that's available to you right now. There is nothing else expected of you but to show up every day and just be yourself, follow your guidance, listen to your intuition, and allow yourself to be guided from that place of the heart. And that's the path that is fulfilling, will take you where you want to go on your soul path, and is why you're here. You're here to be the biggest, baddest, most amazing, brightest version of yourself. And there is nothing perfect about that. And that's one of the things also, the first thing to drop when we're looking at self-acceptance, is this idea of perfection. Perfection does not exist. We want to love ourselves the way that we are and know that we are constantly growing and evolving. And that's just beautiful in itself, just like nature. Nature grows and evolves, so it goes through cycles, and as do we. But we never judge it. We don't judge something as not beautiful or not worthy, because it's not what we think it should be, or ranked against a level of cultural perfectionism. So enjoy this week. Let me know how it resonates for you. Remember, at all times, stay in that state of inner peace. Surrender even more in every opportunity, and really give yourself that opportunity for grace and patience and self-love, and having some fun, being present, and just enjoying life. And remember, life is a journey to be experienced. It's not a problem to solve. Until next time, I'll see you then.